Hello, 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 boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of Virtual Storytime with Dr. P. I am your host, Dr. Tamir Piersaint, and I am tickled. I am glad. I am honored. I'm excited that you chose to be here with me tonight for another episode of Virtual Storytime. I hope your week has been off the charts, fantastic, out of this world. And if you're like, well, no, Dr. P, it wasn't like that at all. It was kind of like a crummy week, or there were things that made me kind of sad. I truly do hope that the time that we spent together, the few minutes that we spent together reading this story, I hope it puts a smile on your face and helps you feel just a little bit better than nothing at all. So today's book is called The Cherry on Top. I know you have heard someone, maybe you have even said, cherry on top, right? I know I've said it. You've probably said it. Your parents have probably said it. Grandma, grandpa has probably said it. Someone has said cherry on top. Usually when people use that phrase, they're referring to maybe like the final missing piece to something that makes it really special or makes it really attractive. Like, for example, cheap plug here, like me saying, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, pretty please, with a cherry on top. Did you see that? I asked you to do something, and to show you how much I really want you to do that, I asked you so kindly with a cherry on top. That's how that goes. Well, today's story is about two cherries, and they are two very special cherries who are very special yet very different cherries. I won't spoil it for you. I won't do that. So, are you ready? Yeah? Okay. Let's jump right into it. The cherry on top. This is the story of Molly and Polly, two cherries that have been attached together at their stems since they were just blossoms on a tree. Molly and Polly, despite being attached, were two very different cherries. Molly was dramatic and outgoing and liked to be the center of attention. Polly liked to take things slow and steady and preferred things to be perfect and proper. Even though they were best friends, their differences often caused problems. While Molly liked to run and be the first cherry to the picnic, Molly liked to take her time and see all the sights along the way. While Polly wanted to make her drawing look just right, Molly was busy making a big, brilliant mess. But they did have one thing in common. They both dreamed of being the next cherry on top. If you were chosen as the cherry on top, you got to sit on the top of an ice cream sundae and be the star. The cherry on top was a single finishing touch that made a nearly perfect dessert perfect. Molly wanted to be the star. Polly wanted to make the perfect dessert. Neither could fulfill her dream while they were still attached. So, when Sunday Funday arrived, Molly and Polly were very excited. When they got to the front of the line, they met the cherry in charge. You need to run really fast in opposite directions to break your stems apart, he said. They decided to give it a try, and finally, their stems were separated and they were free to do things their own way. Polly carefully counted all the sprinkles on her way up her sundae, and it was the perfect number. 100 sprinkles is the exact amount I needed to be the perfect dessert, she said. I don't have to wait for Polly. I can just run right up, said Molly as she jumped over the whipped cream. But when they reached the top of their sundaes, it wasn't all sugar and sweetness as they had expected. Isn't it great up here, Polly? Molly asked, looking at her side before remembering that she was alone. This made her feel like she had a pit in her stomach. It was the same story over on Polly's Sunday. I miss Molly and all of her excitement and energy. I wish she were here cheering me on, she said. So both cherries decided to roll back down their ice cream sundae mountains. They found each other at the bottom. I thought I wanted to be separated so that I could shine and be the star, said Molly. But it wasn't as much fun without you there to share it with me. And I thought I wanted everything to be perfect, but it ended up being dull and boring being all alone, said Polly. I wish our stems were still attached, said Molly. Me too, said Polly. I have an idea. They hugged and then carefully twisted their stems until they tied into a knot. Now we can be together whenever we want, said Polly. Molly thought this was a great plan. Sometimes we can be apart when we need a little break, like when I want to try out for the next school play, or when I want to sit in the sunshine and read a book, agreed Polly. But when we want to play jump rope games or enter a two-stemmed race, we can still be together like we used to, said Molly. It's the perfect plan, said Polly. The end. So what did you think of today's book? I want to know. Write them down. Write it down in the comments. What did you think of today's book? Well, I can tell you that I personally loved how the authors shared a story of two very special yet very different cherries who really didn't realize how unique they were and how special and unique their gifts were, and how even while being different, they realized and towards the end that they were actually better together. They were actually better when they worked together, when they had a chance to allow their differences to complement one another. It was great for them to realize that they were better as a team. It was great for them to realize that when they worked together, they achieved so much more and they had a lot more fun. And even recognizing that it was okay to sometimes do your own thing too. So being different is okay. It's nice to appreciate people for who they are, nice to appreciate things for what they are, and how they or those people bring special, unique things into our lives that makes our lives just a little bit better, puts a smile on our face, makes our heart feel all nice and warm. So imagine if we all looked alike, if we all sounded alike, if we all dressed alike. Oh my God, it would be kind of boring, huh? So I am glad that we're not like robots. I am glad that I have like siblings who are different than I am. They have different interests, though similar, but they're a little different. And I imagine if you have siblings or friends, they probably have some things in common with you, but you all are probably very different as well. So being different, looking different, speaking a different language, liking different things is okay. It helps us appreciate the people around us. It helps us appreciate ourselves. I could tell you that I love that I am different. I love that I have different languages that I speak, that I like different foods, I enjoy traveling, that I like to do quirky, silly things. Yes, me, I like to be silly sometimes. I like that it makes me, Tamir, Dr. P, Dr. Piersaint, unique. And that is okay. So, again, today's book was called The Cherry on Top. And it was really a book about embracing differences, seeing how being different is okay. Being different is a good thing to help us all realize that we each have a role to play in this beautiful world. So I love you for who you are. Enjoy the rest of the night, the weekend, until next Friday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Goodbye. To share just how you feel. Know that we're all are here for you. Yes, we are here. We are near.